Okay, so I guess I'm live, and this is supposed to be, well, it is day 10 of 365 days of daily posting. I really didn't want to make this video, but I said I wanted to do 365 days of posting because I think it's important for me to share, to help inspire people and just share messages that are important. It also is helping me find my voice as a coach and leader. Um, I know that what I regularly talk about will um, become more and more apparent as the days go on, and that'll help kind of clarify what's important to me. But I really just started this live video without knowing what I'm going to talk about. So I'm not going to make it up. I'm just going to sit with the fact that I don't know what I wanted to talk about today. I had a long day. I it was just back-to-back meetings. I have a slight headache. I didn't get to work out. I had very short break in the middle of in the midst of all the meetings going on. I started my day with an energy healing session with an animal, and those are always fun. But yeah, I mean, it was kind of a packed day, and in some ways felt a little unsatisfying. And I don't like rushing from thing to thing. It doesn't happen very often, but just how this day worked out, it was really just packed with meetings that were back to back for the most part. And I think at the end of these days, a lot of times I think I need to not let that happen again because I barely have time to eat. I'm not a fan of rushing eating. I'm not a fan of rushing around doing anything mindlessly or in stress mode. I didn't feel stressed today, but I just knew I didn't have a lot of time to, flow from one thing to another. It was going to be push, push, push. So yeah, 3 of the books I'm reading right now, I'm just looking over here at my books. One of them is, it's called Super Attractor by Gabrielle Bernstein. There's another book that I've been reading. Well, I kind of finished my section, and it was about astrology and the North Nodes, and that was called Astrology for the Soul. And I don't remember the author's name, but she's written a lot of books about astrology, and I don't know much about astrology. But I know that I am North Node in Pisces, and that book was very eye-opening to me. It just showed me a lot of qualities of myself that I knew about, that are part of the shadow work I've been doing for a long time. But then it also showed me things I did not know until the book shone light on it for me. And then another book I just started reading is the Kybalion. I think that's how you say it. Basically, Hermetic philosophy. And I'm excited. I know a lot about the book, but have never actually taken a dive into it. Some of the chapters are Hermetic philosophy, 7 Hermetic principles, mental transmutation, the all, the mental universe, the divine paradox, the all in all, planes of correspondence. Yeah, there's more chapters than that, but I'm interested to read that. I wonder if you have read any of those books that I mentioned. Super Attractor, the Kybalion, and Kybalion is probably, I think that's how you say it, Kybalion. And Astrology for the Soul, or Your Soul's Astrology. Now I don't remember the title. Wow. And usually I read at night, but sometimes I read during the day. But today, I think I'm just going to go to bed. I really feel exhausted. But I do want to leave you with something something important, something that's, worth your time. I don't know if I can give you something worth your time right now with the amount of energy I'm working with. I'm really wiped. I had a good night though. Wednesday is date night, and I had some delicious Thai food at a really good place that I love down here in Santa Fe. We took our dog. He sat on the patio with us, came back, watched about maybe 30 minutes of a movie, and then decided it's got to be early bedtime. So tired. Yeah, sometimes I think the reason I push hard at all is really, it really just kind of goes into what motivates you, what's your why, right? And I don't always want to have days like this, but they're not the norm where they're just so packed. But I have been pushing myself a little harder lately. I have a few things I'm working on. My first group class that helps women have a good relationship with their body so that they can be consistent in the gym and other areas of their life. That's in the works, it's in the making. It's getting launched at the end of the month. So I have a lot of work to do around that I've been just kind of pushing and getting things done with that. I have two other projects that I'm working on, and just the normal, growing the business and getting more clients, doing more energy healings with people. But I think a lot of times people might just see that you're driving yourself or pushing hard for what, and for me, the what is I believe I'm meant to do things. And in order to do them, I have to build my capacity and challenge myself and grow, challenge myself through my inner work, my spiritual work, and also challenge myself in my business work, right? In the material world. And I was doing a session with someone today actually and asking him what his why is. Why does he work so hard in his business? Why does he have a goal to improve his business? What's the reason behind that? And for him, it just boiled down to he believes that that he's meant to serve, that he's put on the planet to serve, like everybody else in some way. But he also believes he's meant to lead by example. And so he feels like as long as he can meet that expectation that he's put on himself in a healthy way and continue to deliver value to people and create jobs for other people and really rise to the occasion. He's living a purposeful life. When you're working towards something or working late or taking on more work than you normally would, just making sure that it is in line with your deeply rooted why. Is the why just to make money, or does it go deeper than that? Is the why to, own your own business, or does it go deeper than that? And for me, I think my why, I mean, in a nutshell, it's I'm breaking patterns about playing small, breaking patterns of doubting myself. And sometimes it's hard, on days like this, I'm like, whoa, that was a really long day. And I'm not feeling so hot right now. But in the grand scheme of things, we choose to do hard things because hopefully it aligns to our values and our I keep saying suited, deeply suited. Why do I say suited over and over? Our deeply rooted reasons of why we exist. What's the point of us being alive? And that's a personal belief system that I think needs to be defined in order for our personal belief system needs to be defined so that when things do get hard, when life does get hard, or when we have opportunities presented to us, we can make decisions that are in line with our why. And my why is, to rise up to do the things that I was called to do, to use my spiritual gifts to help other people heal themselves and help myself, like use my gifts to heal myself and others, and to do it in the greatest capacity that I'm able to while I'm alive. And I guess it comes from a service mindset. How can I serve? How can I help others? Well, I don't believe at all that I could help others if I don't know how to help myself first. So for me, whenever I see an area in my life or within myself that is damaged or needs work, then I want to go into that. I want to heal it or grow it or shine light on it, whatever is appropriate for the thing that I'm looking at. Because by doing that inner work on myself, it means I have the capacity to help someone else through the same thing. So I felt very much connected to the man I was talking to earlier, where it comes from a lead by example and a place of service. I do believe we all have spiritual gifts, and we're meant to use those spiritual gifts to help ourselves and others. So that's coming from a place of service. How can I be of use in this world? How can I contribute to the good of the planet? It doesn't mean you have to go and do something. Like, you don't always have to be, like a human doing to make it to be of value. But you should be, I think, contributing in a positive way. And as long as the challenges that come with that are still helping you grow to some extent, they're still helping you grow as a human and as a spiritual being on this planet, then take those challenges and just remember your why. It's different if you're forcing yourself to do something you don't want to do that doesn't have a deeply rooted why, or it's not connected to a deeply rooted why. Then it's different. Then you might want to reassess your choices and your life. But I think that's why it's so important to know our why, because on days where you're just challenged, if you don't have a reason that's clear for you, then life can seem pretty pointless or overwhelming. And one of my favorite quotes is, let me see if I can still remember it, but I used to say it all the time. It's by George Bernard Shaw. And he says, "The true glory of life is being used up for a purpose, a mighty purpose that you recognize as being bigger than yourself, and not a miserable little clod of grievances and ailments, complaining that the world will not make you happy." I know I butchered the first part of that. Let's see what I'm going to look it up right now. Let's find out what that quote really is, because it's really good the way he worded it. But it's the beginning part that I know I didn't say it right. And I'll explain why I love this quote so much. Let's see. Oh, wow. There's a lot of quotes. Okay, hold on. Let's go back. The greatest purpose of life. It's something like that. Why am I having a hard time looking at it? I can't find it. I want to read it perfectly for you. I want you to know the words like exactly. George Bernard Shaw. I don't even know that much about him. I think he was an Irish, wasn't he an Irish author or maybe philosopher? George Bernard Shaw. Okay, let's see. Here we go. That's not it. Here we go. A splendid torch. Here we go. Ready? Okay, this is the quote. This is the true joy in life. The being used for a purpose, recognized by yourself as a mighty one. The being a force of nature instead of a feverish, selfish little clod of ailments and grievances, complaining that the world will not devote itself to making you happy. I am of the opinion that my life belongs to the whole community, and as long as I live, it is my privilege to do for it whatever I can. I want to be thoroughly used up when I die, for the harder I work, the more I live. I rejoice in life for its own sake. Life is no brief candle for me. It is a sort of splendid torch, which I have got hold of for the moment, and I want to make it burn as brightly as possible before handing it on to future generations. Well, that is longer than the one that I knew of, and I like this version even more. So I'm going to save that. And if you want to read it for yourself, the quote is, you can just look up A Splendid Torch, George Bernard Shaw. But what I love about it is it's the part about the true joy in life is being used up for a purpose recognized by yourself as a mighty one. That means that whatever you recognize as a worthy cause is your calling. It's the thing that lights you up. It's the thing that makes you feel most alive. And it's the thing that makes you want to contribute it to the world. That's what you're meant to do. And you're meant to do it with all of the fire that you can put behind it, all of the energy that you can dedicate to it, you do it. And I love that how he makes this contrast, and he says, it's not being a feverish little selfish clod of ailments and grievances that complains that the world doesn't devote itself to making you happy. So there's people who expecting good things to just fall into their lap all the time, or they complain that someone is doing something and someone's noticing this person but not them. And it's like I really want to always be on the other side of that I'm the person who creates and makes things possible for myself and makes things possible for others, and I don't sit and wait, and I don't expect for, there's not an entitlement like heir to you. You're not saying just because I'm alive I'm entitled or I'm supposed to get all these things. I think life is about finding your inner dragons and taming the dragons within so that you can have the capabilities to make your way in the world and to be the person that you are destined to be. But that requires, I think, bravery. So yeah, that's how I feel about these sort of days. I try to think of the main, the overall, and if my days were always this nuts and I didn't have time for myself, it would definitely require a lifestyle change. But it was just a tough day, and it makes you really return back to your why. So hopefully you can get some inspiration from this. It was kind of a weird video because I wasn't as, like lively and on it. But that's okay too. I'll see you guys tomorrow for day 11. Bye.